And hello, my fellow Game Warriors. My name is the Game Warrior, and today I'm going to be bringing you all another Final Thought Friday video. A video series in mind in which I like to discuss important events, things in the news, or things that matter to me today. However, before I really start up and go into this video, I just wanted to go ahead and get two things out of the way. First off, today, I am going to be posting two other videos for you to check out. One for the Minecraft fans. I'm going to be posting another solo Hunger Games in my attempt to post a Hunger Games every day. And for really anybody, I'm going to be posting my first Gary's Mod video. I really just discovered this game with 3 or 4 other YouTubers and had a great time with it, so I highly recommend you check it out as well. It is a quick 4-minute video. But for this video today, it is Final Thought Friday. For those of you that have been following the news recently out of Russia and Ukraine, tensions have been heating up, and many experts are expecting a full-blown out war of some variety in that area. For those of you unaware of this particular situation between Russia and the Ukraine, recently Crimea, an area inside of the Ukraine, was essentially invaded by Russian forces. Didn't fire a shot, and maybe one, I don't know, but essentially invaded by Russia. Days after the Russian troops' arrival, Crimea, I don't know how it's pronounced, so bear with me there. Crimea voted to secede from the Ukraine and join as part of Russia. Now, both America and pretty much world leaders around the globe have spoke out against this and voted for it and everything else, and the UN declared this vote invalid and said that Crimea was still part of the Ukraine. Now, obviously, Russia has responded to this negatively. They said this was a legitimate vote. They said this and that. And tensions are getting high. Currently, Russia is said to have massed a force of several thousand troops. I think I read a report that said up to potentially 20 to 40,000 troops on the eastern side of the Ukraine. Now, knowing the might of the Russian military versus that of what we do know about the Ukrainian, the supposed invasion that could happen one of two ways. Either Russia, knocks on that door and Ukraine pretty much essentially lays down their arms and lets them in peacefully, essentially surrendering their country, or they try to defend their country, and a war will erupt in Russia that Russia's just going to win. Now, as this is unfolding, people around the world are looking to America, to us, to what we are going to do. And in our time in the world, we have been the ones that have garnered the title as the unofficial policemen of the world. Now, we have a track record with this, from Libya to Iraq. If a country has been in trouble or who has had something wrong with it, we have countless times sent military support in the forms of boots on the ground, aircraft, or drones, or weapons. And now people wonder if we will send something to the Ukraine, and thereby become part on the path to the next war with Russia. Now, that brings me to my thought for this Final Thought Friday. As you could probably tell by the title of this video, World War III. How will it start, who will it involve, and how will it end? And when it comes to a speculative or opinionated commentary, I hope you are prepared, because this one is going to have a lot of both speculation and opinions. It always does with me on my Final Thought Fridays, it seems. Firstly, I do not believe that the Russia-Ukraine war, if it were to happen, would ignite World War III. I don't think America would get involved with this any more than any other country. However, I do believe that, like any other war, it could increase tensions across the globe, which never aids in all-around stability. Instead, I believe that World War III will ignite because of one of two countries. Obviously, it could ignite a lot of other ways. The Russia-Ukraine conflict could stir something up. But I believe there are one of two countries that would potentially ignite the war for a couple of reasons. And first off, there's North Korea. Now, a lot has been said about North Korea's military strength, people joking that they're not tall enough to hit the button to launch a missile. But even though their military technology is not up to par with that of the superpowers that are the U.S., they are nevertheless strong. Their military manpower, just their sheer numbers, is one of the largest in the world. They have the boots on the ground that could stand up to most any country. Their country also has a leader, a person in power who comes from a father who threatened war his entire life. So you have to know that he wants the war. He is one that would not shy away from it if it was to come. And their country sits atop South Korea, one of the United States' strongest allies across the globe. Also, both China and Russia have been strong supporters of North Korea in the past. Now, North Korea, if they decided to attack South Korea, America would intervene by sending troops. Actually, America already has troops in South Korea, in bases, and embassies and other stuff. So if North Korea attacks the South, all it would take is one action by Russia or China to ignite a war around the world instead of a war just with the United States and North Korea. Then moving on to the next country in the world that could really start World War III, we have to move on to Israel. Now, as a whole, Israel is one of the most stable countries across the globe, arguably more stable than America between their government and their leaders in politics there. Probably one of the most stable countries in the world. Their military strength is impressive for a country of their size. It is something Americans and people around the world don't generally know about Israel and their army, but they have the equipment and systems necessary to defend their country against most threats around the globe. And some people have even said if America and Israel were to go to war with one another for whatever reason, America would win, but we would take some casualties. So when looking at Israel and their country and their army, one has to realize that there's a lot of power there. Now, in the Middle East, from Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, other Stan countries, and other countries just in that area, there is no one that America trusts except for Israel. You may argue we trust Afghanistan, they're okay with us. Some of the leaders in Saudi Arabia maybe. But really, their leaders hate us as much as anyone else. Really, truly, the only person we have intelligence operations with and really have a history of trust with is Israel. They've helped us a lot in the past between terrorist strikes and other stuff that they have helped us prevent. And it doesn't help us that we are allied with them, but every other country in the region would like to see Israel wiped from the face of the earth as well. Currently, every Arab country in that area hates Israel. They want them gone. They want them removed from power. They want a whole lot of basically war to just rage on Israel. Currently, Iran has stated in the past, that's a weird sentence to say, but Iran has stated in the past that they were going to build a nuclear weapon and they were going to blow up Israel, that Israel was a one-nuke country and then they would be done. And Israel has stated that Iran will never have a bomb, either if America stops them or if we strike first. So, going into this, Israel is ready to defend their country. If Iran's going to get a bomb, they're going to blow it up. If some other country decides to strike at Israel, say for some reason Egypt and their army says we're going to attack Israel, then Iran would join in, and then Pakistan would join in, and every country in the area would join in on attacking Israel. And if tensions end up running over and Israel decides to strike first, every Arab country will attack as well. And when this happens, with Israel attacks first, or somebody attacks Israel, everyone in the area will be involved in the war, and so will America. We will send troops to defend pretty much, I think, 4 countries, no matter what. There are 4 countries across the globe that we will send troops to defend. First is Australia, because they're out there. Second is Japan. Third is South Korea, and then the next is Israel. I don't really count Britain or France or Canada because that's just kind of more of a given. But when it comes to Australia, when it goes to South Korea, Japan, and then Israel, those are the countries that we would defend mostly no matter what. So going into this, if this happens, war would erupt across the globe. Now, of course, there are other ways World War III could erupt, but between North Korea attacking somebody being stupid, or Israel involved in conflict by being the aggressor or the defender, you just don't know how it's going to turn out. So for my final thought for this Final Thought Friday, I believe that World War III is going to happen sometime. I just don't think it's going to happen because of the Russia-Crimea conflict, and just hopefully I'm not around to see it.